Just about 5 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock. Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, of course, our Monday edition. And because it's Monday, we have the TTPS joining us this morning. And so joining me, we have the Senior Superintendent, Pierre, and we also have attorney Sajina, Kadir, and they're going to be talking about a Legal Access 10, a community program that they will be offering pretty soon. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, now, Ms. Kadir, I'm going to start with you first. Legal Access 10, tell us about the program, but first of all, what would have, helped you or approached the TTPS to start this program?
Okay. During the COVID lockdown period, around October 2021, many people were forced to stay at home, and some families would have enjoyed staying at home together, and then some families would have been placed in a kind of toxic home environment, right? And the economic reality was things were hard for them to afford legal advice. So I told myself, maybe having legal advice accessible and free would be helpful to them. Yeah. So I approached Senior Sup Pierre. He was then the head of the community-oriented policing section, and I pitched the idea to him, and in about 10 days, this initiative was born, so that we actually go to 2 communities the last Saturday of each month and give free legal advice. And it has been so warmly embraced by the members of the public, because they really, really sometimes cannot afford basic legal advice or to know if they need mediation or counseling and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And when we talk about legal advice, are we talking about everything under the sun, or do we have certain things that we advise the community
So
on?
we say private and civil matters, matrimonial grievances, domestic violence, prevalent topics, but non-criminal matters. Because it's a partnership between the police service and attorneys, we don't do criminal matters. So that's the only exception. Anything else, immigration, estate land, and as I said, many persons out there really need the assistance. Yes. So we see oftentimes domestic violence being high on the list in what we see. Yeah. I'm
coming to you, Superintendent, because I'm wondering, why did you think this was such a significant program to bring to the communities?
Well, taking into consideration, just as Sajina said, that toxic environment, there's a lot of crime that emanates from toxicity. And we have land matters where we would have realized persons ended up being victims, murder. And I saw this as a crime-fighting tool. So whilst in one breath persons receive legal access, it also gives persons another alternative, rather than looking at it from the point of view of taking actions into their own hands. So that as a crime-fighting tool, bringing a different thought and opportunity for a person, I believed that it would enhance the police in the crime-fighting. Also, it is community engagement, because we are partnering with the legal fraternity, and this is something new. So within our pillar of community engagement, this also blended in really well for us, right?
Now, Superintendent, you said it's something new, but I know that it has been ongoing for a few months well. Any sorts of notable changes you have seen or trends that you could comment on?
Well, I would not say that there are trends. What we realize is that in the initial stages, persons didn't know about the legal access, the free legal access. And now that it has been out there for 19 months, we have realized persons are aware. They contact us outside of the period, always asking when is the next clinic and where it is, so that they can access that.
Yeah, and I'm coming back to you, Ms. Kadir. In terms of the communities that you've serviced, do you see a situation where somebody could get the advice and then follow through with getting help from one of the attorneys? Do you have that follow through as well?
Actually, at the end of one of the legal access at the last Saturday of each month, we will have a debrief. And if there is a situation where it's urgent, especially with domestic violence, an attorney takes it all the way through court pro bono. So, I mean, this is really human service by the attorneys. We've been to 31 communities, Kimberly, and on the 29th, we'll be going to the 10 policing divisions across Trinidad and Tobago to give of our time, because we see how the vulnerable times is making it constrained for people to afford the legal service. And sometimes it takes long to apply for the other types of free services available. So we go into the communities versus they having to go in an office looking for the availability of the lawyers.
Of course. Now it's happening this Saturday.
Yes.
Tell us about which communities it's going to be at and, of course, what time people can come out. And if you want to add in here, Superintendent.
Sure. Now, the reason we call it Legal Access 10 is because it's the first time we are venturing into 10 communities at one instance. We'll be at the Debe Hindu Primary School, the Siparia Community Center, the Presentation College, Shogunas, the Youth Club at Carenage, that is on Constabulary Street, the St. Clair Police Youth Club, the Oropoon Police Youth Club, the Maloney Police Youth Club, the Sandy Grande Police Youth Club, the Mova Police Youth Club, and, of course, Shore Park, Tobago.
Yes, I'm like that you mentioned Tobago.
Yes,
Tobago is our 10 division. We
Yes.
have 10 divisions.
Yes.
Right?
Now, I know you mentioned as well it is a crime-fighting tool.
Yes.
Is that the reason why you would have chosen these communities? I mean, do these communities have a high crime rate, or how did you go about choosing which community to enter?
No, it's not about that. It's bringing the service to a community.
Okay.
Now, a person might be living Port of Spain, but they work San Fernando and need the service. So on that day, they can go to San Fernando. It's not set because of the crime situation in that way, but it's set that anybody can access the clinic.
Yeah. Now, is there a certain reason why you use the police youth club, or is it just a matter of the convenience of location?
Right. In our initial stages, we chose the youth club because that is one of our initiatives in building the youth capacity in Trinidad and Tobago. We have the biggest youth club movement in Trinidad with over 10,000 strong, right, and 85 active police youth clubs. So we looked at that as a tool to get persons involved as well. So therefore, we chose the youth clubs in the initial stages. However, not all our youth club buildings are up to par. So we have partnered with the Ministry of Education using schools, social development. We use community centers. We use the churches. So we have really enhanced our community engagement in this initiative.
Now, Superintendent, I know that Ms. Kadir said that if it's a domestic violence matter, for instance, they do it pro bono all the way through. If it's something, let's say, more sensitive, as in a child abuse or that sort of thing, will the police intervene at that point, or is it just a legal matter and they will deal with it after?
Hence the reason the partnership.
Right.
So that when there's the legal issue, that's the attorneys to deal with that matter. But if it is in need of urgent police attention, we deal with it immediately.
Yeah. And Ms. Kadir, what time can people come out from?
On the 29th of April, it's 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and present will be both the police officers and the attorneys. So sometimes members of the public, Kimberly, feel comfortable getting a chance to talk to the police too, one-on-one out of a police station to help alleviate their concerns or their problems as well. So the partnership is is a lot of synergy there, and it has been really embraced by members of the public.
Is there an age limit for this? Because I feel there may be teenagers among us who may want to come out, but of course there's that legal aspect where they have to have a guardian with them.
Yes.
Is there an age limit for this?
If somebody has come, it has not occurred.
Right.
But if they do come, like I remember youth at the police youth club, but I call him a youth because he's a youth to me, right? But he was just 18. So he just wanted an opinion on something and we gave it.
Yeah.
But if it's definitely underage, we will definitely need that permission from the parents. You're correct.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Superintendent, I'm coming back to you. What other communities we can see this program in pretty soon?
Well, we intend to touch every community. As far as we were at, that is up in the east, we were
Toko.
at Toko,
Yeah.
right? Very far. We did
And
Tobago,
Valencia.
2 clinics at Tobago. We were at far reaches across the country.
We even went
Bish.
Yeah,
Oh, you
that
went
was
far.
quite a
Yes.
distance.
Yes.
But when I tell you they were happy to receive that service coming into that community.
Yes, yes. So you are seeing that community engagement, Superintendent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have been embraced everywhere that we went to. And as I said before, people call us. They would call her, they would call me to find out where is the next clinic, when it is. Sometimes they would ask if they can get legal access on the phone. But
Yes.
of course not, we don't deal with it like that.
So you have to come out in person
Yes.
to access your
Yes.
service.
Yes.
Is there a particular reason for that?
I believe, COVID changed a lot of things, but sometimes when these matters carry such an emotional twist, especially in matters of violence or sensitive issues, that one-on-one gives a different feeling where somebody sits and speaks to you one-on-one, There was one exception, only one, and we won't create a habit out of it, but an elderly woman, she couldn't come. She wanted to come and then she had COVID, and we were minded to facilitate her virtual. So, there will be exceptions when our heart feels it, but generally if you're able and willing and need the help, people do come out. Like Senior Super saying they come from far areas just because it's a free service to the community closest to them then,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And before we go, just remind us, it's this Saturday. Tell us the time that people can come out and anybody who wants more information, where they can go.
April 29th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. For further information, they could contact 480-1421. And I'm sure they could see this online and know the locations as well.
Yes,
so
nice.
just to have it in their minds.
Finally,
And just know that there is no registration needed. You just show up and you will have professional service rendered to you. So we're asking the members of the public, take advantage of this service.
Yes.
It's not the end of it, it's a continuation,
Yes.
and take advantage of it.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, Senior Superintendent Pierre, of course, Ms. Kadir, thank you so much for coming in this morning. I really, really hope that they take, that they benefit from this program. As you mentioned, legal access in 10 communities on one day. So I hope that you do see the turnout that you're expecting.
We appreciate your sentiments.
And of course, good luck in the future.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you for having us, Kimberly.
And that was the representatives from the TTPS and, of course, attorney Ms. Kadir, just talking about a legal access 10, a community legal clinic program that's taking place this Saturday. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.
Let's say thanks to the police all around, especially in town. No one couldn't walk alone.